Okay. All right, folks. Give me a second here. Turn down the music a little bit. I have to do that for Spotify, I guess. 1 second now. This is a new thing I'm trying out just with the bit of music thing before it. So, all right, cool. So I've got a kind of a cool project that I'm going to be taking a look at. Um, that's why I named the stream Secret Project Time. Give me 1 second. I just want to get some water. So I can pretty much promise you, you're not going to guess what this project is, chat. But hopefully, it's royalty free. Otherwise, YouTube might go down. No, this music is royalty free. Yeah, see, I'm clever like that. So this music is royalty free, and yeah, we don't need to worry about anybody shutting down the stream. Um, it's like 11 hours of royalty free music on Spotify or something. So we should be fine. Ooh, just get some water there. Okay, so we're not going to go too crazy. I'm probably only going to spend like an hour here looking at this thing, but I want to show you. First, we're going to figure out if it actually works, and then I'm going to show you what we might do with it from a retro gaming perspective. Because I've actually got a project that I think nobody has ever tried before. Or at least people have talked about it, but then they've never actually done it. So I think if we can actually do this, you know, it would actually be of interest. I think it would be of interest to a lot of folks. So I'm going to let you see if you guys want to guess what it is that I'm going to do, or I'm going to try to do. Because this probably won't be easy, I can tell you that. But in order for us to dream about trying to do this project, we will need to have a working one of these. So this is Bean Mix Fixes junk. This is a piece of junk that I bought off eBay. This is utter trash. Like, this is what you would get at like you would expect to pick this up at like an estate sale, or left out on somebody's front lawn for you to just pick it up. It's old, it's big, it's TV, all right? And it's actually not even particularly good TV, but it's a very interesting TV um, from a retro gaming perspective. Um, and so I bought one of these. It was like $20 on eBay, and I bought it on eBay so that I could kind of try and figure out, um, can I do something with this? Can I make it into something else? I'm not going to tell you exactly what that something else is right now, but I think first of all, what we're going to have to do is to see if this works, and we can put it under the scope over here because I can already see that this thing is covered in gunk, and I'm going to be blessed if it actually even boots up. But we'll see. Is the music too loud, or is it okay, in relation to the mic? Probably. It feels like it's like a reasonable. It's okay. Maybe I'll turn. Will I give it like a little bit less, maybe? So I'm not asking on the quality I'm using now because like the music is free, so we're not going to judge that. Okay. All right. We'll just leave it a little bit in the background there. Okay. Scope. Let me switch on the scope. All right. Ooh, that's a lot of light. Okay. Scope is on. Do I have a number for scope? Alt and 2. I do. I've even got hotkeys now. See, this is turning into a very professional operation. Very professional operation. Okay. Terminals. Terminals are fine. That's not even what I would classify as corrosion. Um, that is. Let's sand that off. And that is. Oh, interesting. All right, we'll get the old fiberglass pen in at that one. Okay. Fiberglass pen. How many things I've fixed with a fiberglass pen? All right, that's that sorted. We'll hoover this up in a second, but that's going to make that connection a little better. And then we'll clean all this with alcohol as well. All right, let's get the bottom part. This, I don't know if the fiberglass pen is going to really help, to be honest. I think this is not really that much corrosion. It's a little bit. Anyway, whatever it is, I don't want it to get in the way of my operation here. So we're going to fix it, even though it's only minor. I need this thing to be working. That's the, how do we go to it? I need this thing to be working. That is, you know, sort of prerequisite for doing this project, is that this thing actually switches on. And I'm not even 100% sure if it will, because like I said, I bought it off of eBay, and it was literally the cheapest 3.5-inch TV on eBay. Because even though I do like to mess around and spend, yeah, very cheap plating. Yeah, there's like the plating that's on that is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. So it probably, the plating came off and then it didn't rust properly because it probably was kept in a reasonably dry environment. But if it had been left anywhere near water, it would have been absolutely destroyed. So yeah, so like I said, we're just going to give this thing a quick look, and then I'll describe it. So what it is it's a digital TV. So it's not an analog TV. So this should receive an actual signal. You know, separate. I mean, I gotta get some food stuff over here. You know, in 2008, they switched off all the analog TV broadcasts, or they started to. So, and then 2021, I think, there was no more analog TV broadcasts. Sorry, let me show you. I'm showing you me painting this. There was no analog TV broadcasts, and so then now we're digital only. So this unit is from, I don't know, 2013 maybe. It's probably like over 10 years old, well over 10 years old. And it's an early digital TV, but it's portable, right? So that's kind of awesome. And the reason that that's an interesting kind of perspective or interesting project item for me is that all the components in this thing are tiny. And as a little bit of a lesson, if you weren't aware, digital TV is an absolute nightmare. And I don't think that's even an understatement. There's guys on YouTube that talk about how complicated digital TV is and how we would have just been better off if we just stuck to analog. I mean, you know, I don't know how much, you know, all of it is. I mean, I'm sure, you know, digital is probably better overall, but the digital standards have become so complicated now that as we go through the digital 1.0 and digital ATSC 1.0, ATSC 2.0, ATSC 3.0, like a lot of the channels aren't even decodable. They're DRM'd, they're encrypted, like all sorts of stuff that wouldn't have happened in the 80s and 90s. And now in the 2020s, the democratization of TV just like isn't there anymore. So what I'm getting at is that even when we get this working, when we boot this up and put in batteries into it, there's going to be certain TV channels it just can't tune into. It's only going to be able to tune into like unencrypted, super basic channels on the digital, what's called digital ATSC 1.0. By the way, I learned all this stuff last week, so I'm not a really expert, but just telling you, giving you a little bit of education. Oh look, there's a. That's what a chamois looks like under a microscope. I accidentally just threw it over there. So we're going to go back now to the overhead, which is Alt 1. Come on, there we go. We're back to the overhead, and I've got some brand new batteries here. Really good ones, actually. So not going to have any problems there. These things are like $2 a piece. $2 a piece. Okay, and then here. All right, now as soon as we find out if this works, we're taking it apart. I just want to know does it actually work. All right, batteries are in. Where's the power button? Pull the antenna out the end before direction change. Let me see. Pull the antenna out the end. I'm not interested in any of that. I just want to switch it on. Oh, there's a test antenna in there. Yeah, I did see a YouTube video with this. Okay. Where's the power button? Okay, it's headphones. Is that it? Oh, look at this. Well, we do need this because where I live, we're not going to get a whole lot of reception. So we'll definitely need this. Let's see. Menu. Enter. Channel. Where's the... See, this is where it gets kind of weird, right? When the engineer can't even turn on the thing. What have I done wrong here? Oh. Yeah, see, look. On, off. It's at the back. Okay. What's happening? Did it switch on? I thought I saw something. Yeah. Okay, you know what? Let me just get this antenna out of the way. Maybe it was a bad idea to do that. Okay, here we go. Switch it on. Okay. Dead as a doornail. Well, that's not good. I mean, did I really expect it to work though? Probably not. It does look like it's kind of bulging, like it's been taken apart before. So that's probably not a good sign either. Let's see. Yeah, a bit of a shame. Was hoping for a bit of just hassle-free messing around here, but it looks like we're not going to get that. Good news is I see where the screws are. That's a shame. What do we got in here? DC 5 volts at 1 amp. All right, let's see if it's a battery corrosion problem. Let's power this thing directly. Oh my God, it's got the tiniest barrel connector in the universe. Where am I even going to get one of these? All right, one sec. Barrel connectors. It might be this one. Oh my God, first time. Is that going to work? That looks like the right barrel connector. Okay. Okay. That doesn't often happen. All right, let's go plug that in. It could be that just, I mean, this may be why the person was selling it was because there's so much corrosion on the terminals that it won't actually switch on. That's okay if we can get it to switch on. Oh, I just killed Mario, but that's okay. All right, let's take Mario apart. Let's unplug that for a minute. Let's just make sure I don't do anything weird. Okay. Too many cables, too many cables. Switch power off. Put in power. Switch power on. Nope. Oh, well, that's doubly. Well, that's a real pain. I might have to buy one of these working then, if that's the case. Center positive. Oh, wait a second. Well, maybe just it might have been just as well. It just says DC 5 volt. I think I just put 9 volts on this thing. So if it wasn't broken before, it might be broken now. How many volts did I put through it? 9. Okay, that's all right. It was only for a second. But I do wonder if this thing is cream crackered. Oh! Oh, wait, did you see that? I saw it. It booted. Well, that's the stream, folks. If only you had a bench power supply. I do have a bench power supply. I'm just too lazy to hook it up. And I'm telling you, this thing just booted. Look. God, it's just that the connector for it is really weird. What the hell? Okay, give me a second. This thing just did, it did boot. No, it's too small. The depth. There it is. It's working. See? Okay, 1 second. Weak signal. That's okay. Hi, the stream lives. I got it working. And didn't toast it when I applied 9 volts. So kind of all, this is win-win-win here. Okay, weak signal. Now, I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all because of kind of where we're at, but channel. Let's try a different channel. Weak signal. NBCLA. Weak signal. Let me open the garage door and see, will the signal get any better? That's gonna be really tricky. Let's see, what can I apply? Now, the thing is, this is probably quite enough messing around though, because I know it works, and I know it displays an image, and that's kind of all I care about, to be honest. It would be nice to display some TV, but that's actually not what I'm trying to do. I just want to know that the digital tuner in this TV, that it works. Which I guess I haven't proven by switching it on, but it's trying to tune into something because it's tuning a signal and then it's saying weak signal. So even though I'm in an area where I can't really, it makes me think it has no fuse on the DC input. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised it's still working now that I applied 9 volts to it. Maybe it has, well, maybe it has protection. That's the thing. It might have protection. And some of those fuses, they'll, you know, if you apply it just briefly, they'll actually reset. Okay, KCAL DT. Okay, not to worry. I'm happy. I'm happy enough with just where we're at with that. All right, let's just leave that over there. Let's leave that over there. Let's put this cleverly concealed weapon back into its box. Let's put all my Energizer batteries, which are super expensive, back into their box. Because I don't want to spend money on those if we don't need to. Okay, right, well. Master 801. Can you guess what I'm thinking of project-wise by having a digital TV tuner that I want to take apart? Can you guess what that is? While we're dismantling this for a minute, I'm going to just dismantle it, and we'll maybe discuss why I'm dismantling this and what kind of cool project. Oh, come on, make an effort. Make an effort. What could I be doing that would be interesting? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just looking for, I have 100 screwdrivers, and then when I actually go looking for a screwdriver, I have no screwdrivers. Where's my electric screwdriver? 1 second here. 1 second here. So maybe it's actually underneath. It's under the keyboard. It's under the keyboard. All right. So what are we thinking? Wireless TV. Actually correct. Actually correct. Yes. Actually correct. Wireless TV. But how would you integrate that into a retro project? Oh, am I missing a little screw here? Well, that's a shame. I don't like to lose those. Let me see. Not going there. That won't go in there. Now, this is going to be interesting. Oh, this might. Oh my God. See, this set that I bought is just absolutely the bee's knees. So, wireless TV, yes. Yes, it is a wireless TV. Because this is a wireless TV. Um, but why is this not working? Um, okay. Okay, let's just go through some trivia then. See, well, I guess I don't know what age you are, so it depends. Oh God, what's happening here? I don't know what age any of you might be on chat, so you might not remember. But so this is a digital TV. So if you were back in the 90s, well, there wasn't any digital TV. It was only analog TV. So if you do you remember if you've watched any movies from the 80s? So think about movies from the 80s, right? So you watch a movie from the 80s and you know, some of the cool movies, they had somebody who had a wireless TV, right? A TV just like this one, except it was a miniature TV, but it was like this size, right? So it's probably like, I mean, realistic, it's probably like 10 times the size of this, right? But it's also the same. It's just a TV, except it's got a tube and it's got a tuner. Except everything built before, I don't know, 2003 has a, that is correct, an analog tuner. And this has a digital tuner. So if you wanted to turn a TV from the 80s into, oh, and by the way, oh no, lost something there. Oh, I might have lost a screw there. We'll see. Oh, I think I did. Did I lose the screw? I was going to be ashamed if I did. 1 second here. I think I might have dropped a screw here. Anyway, never mind. Not all that important. So let's go. Actually, let me show you what I mean. Let's go to Firefox. Let's go to Firefox. Well, we don't have any Firefox, so let's open Firefox. Okay, let's go. 80s portable TV. All right, there we go. There's one. Okay, so, well, actually, this is a satellite TV, so not quite what I'm talking about. Let's find one that's not a satellite TV. But let's not. What I want is a pocket. Yeah. Ooh, there we go. Sony Watchman. Yeah, that's pretty cool. They maybe not quite though. What I'm getting at. This is a bit too big. It's really like pocket TV. 80s pocket TV. That's really what I'm interested in. Sony Watchman. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Let me see. They're 80s Sony Watchman. Yeah, maybe it is Sony Watchman. Or like, what year is that? Sony Watchman. This might be Sony Watchman. What year? Yeah. Okay, so does the Sony Watchman still work? And the answer is no, it doesn't still work because analog TV signals were phased out in the when? Favorite digital broadcasting. Okay, so now that's going to drive me crazy because I dropped the screw on the ground, and I needed. I mean, I kind of needed to close that box back up. Now finding that screw is going to take me an hour, so I don't want to do that. But I'm just going to get down on the ground so you can even feel it. So annoying. Why did I drop that? And the thing is, I could have caught it in my shirt if I had been clever about it. Oh boy. Okay, so I'll have to go find that screw at some point. Um, or maybe not, because if the project that I'm talking about is successful, uh, well then this is never going to be put back together because we're pretty much going to destroy it. So maybe I don't need to find that screw. Maybe I'll never need to find that screw. Okay, but anyway, but my crazy project idea. Where's my phone so I can open the garage door? Because it's just so freaking hot in here. It's crazy. It's like it's I don't know why it is so hot. Okay, now. Okay. Sorry, I'm still looking for that screw, but I'm just going to give up. All right, now we will need some. We'll need a knife, an X-Acto knife, probably. Okay, so let's move back to dot one. We'll go back to the overhead. Okay. Don't say I lost my phone again. Yeah, I know. Hopefully I won't lose it again. Okay, no screws there. It looks like I've taken all the screws out, or at least I've taken the screws out that I'm aware of. The antenna still looks like it's kind of connected. Like I said, I've never taken one of these apart before, so I literally don't have a clue what I'm doing. We don't necessarily need to save this. I mean, at all. Like any piece of it we can break. But what we do need to maintain to be able to do our little project is the tuner and the main electronics. Okay, so oh, there's the little thing there. That's the antenna. All right. Okay. It looks like I've got the main sort of. Maybe I need to take out the antenna to make this work. Maybe that's what's going on here. But it does look like I've gotten the. No, it's not. It's got nothing to do with the antenna. Yeah, it's pretty cheap. It's and by the way, you said it was like in the 80s. It was a Radio Shack Pocket Vision, which is probably totally possible. Is that's what it was called? But this is also a Radio Shack product, so this is like the cheapest, dirtiest thing that they made, probably. I do think it's probably held together by this little button here. Yeah, this product is not intended for a moving vehicle or other mobile setting. Yeah. Well, we know why that is, don't we? Because, yeah, like digital television is pretty terrible at moving things. Oh, is that why it was? Yay! Okay. All right. Is that the speaker? That's the speaker. Oh my God! Look at the speaker. That is like the tiniest speaker I've ever seen. Okay. That's all cool. Now, can we pull this thing out of its rig? How do I get this thing out of here? Oh, wow. Oh, so that's the LCD. All right, good to know. Yeah, well, we don't want to... LCD we don't need, because what we're going to be doing with this, where are we going? We don't need roads. Yeah, we don't need any of that. We need this board. See how else... I'm just trying to see what else way is this thing held together? Get it out of its little... get it out of its little house in a minute. I don't want to rip off that speaker just because... Yeah, well, you know, I just don't want to bust it. Just have a look at... Second here. Let's just switch the scope for a second. What does it say on that? Right Tech. Right Tech. Will it, can I pull it out of there? No, that won't come out. Okay. All right. I've got hotkeys now, so I can move back and forward really quickly with the thing. All right. So, is there a screw behind something else here? Kind of look. No screws there. You know me, I'm not very rough with things, so I'm not gonna like try and bust this thing into pieces if I don't have to. Oh wait. Oh, I did. I found 2 screws. Here. Here's one. Alright, it's locked in there. Alright. Okay, we'll put you over there. And then there's another one here. And so, given... Oh, 3 viewers! Oh my god. I'm famous. I'm famous. I better behave myself. Okay. So, for full... And then they went away. Oh my god. I had people watching and now not none. Okay, well anyway. That was it. This is what I need. Oh my god. Okay. Interesting. All right. Okay. Now that we've got our little thing here, it's good to know how this thing sort of hangs together, just for giggles. I would like to... Now, it doesn't have any AV in or anything, so there's no way to actually... Is this glued in? That's annoying. Is that... Oh, is it got a little... Does it have it? Well, it's like... See, this is what I need a scope for. Does it have a little connector? Looks like it does. Oh, no, it doesn't. Does it? Oh. Yeah, that does look like a little connector. Okay. Can I pull that connector off? Yes, you can. Boop. There's the connector. There's the wire. Okay. Overhead cam. Overhead cam. All right. Overhead cam. All right, so all good, all good, all good. So far, we are on track. We have got... Where's the little... Where did the... Okay, well, we have no antenna whatsoever now, so it's definitely not going to work. But we are going to just plug it in here. And how did the... Oh, there it is. Oh, nice. Okay. So now you can see I have it working. Okay, OVO. Fox SD. I guess it's going to say weak signal. Okay, cool. All right, so again, we have it working, but now we have it out of its case. Now, this is where things might get more interesting. So, this is a whole board. Okay. All right, what's back? What's back here? All right, I'll have to crack this thing open. I don't know if this thing is... I don't know how this has been put together. But I'm starting to see now that it's one big PCB. That might be a problem for this project. But we'll see. So... So can I pull this out? Can I pull out the screen? Or maybe I need to actually. Sorry, let me just look under the scope here. Okay, so can I just. Sorry, let me just flip it over. Why does my. Okay. Look, you gotta bear with me on the. You don't have to bear with me on the hotkeys. I'm still kind of figuring that part out. All right, we're gonna have to potentially. Yeah, can I just flip this up? How is this? How is that part held down? I'm just trying to see what way is this kind of set up. Again, I want to be careful with it because I might need to test it again. So I don't want to bust it out. I don't want to bust it completely, but I just don't. I really do not need the LED for the final part of this project. So let's just have a look at the around the edges of the board, and let's see. We've only got you on. Let's see, edge of the board. Yeah, so it looks like there's a two-part. Oh, I see now. Is that just sort of clipped on? Yeah, so it looks like the. Okay, that's not too bad. It looks like this is just clipped on then, so I just need to kind of push off the clips, and then I can free the PCB. So let me just go Alt-1. Been at this now for a few minutes. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what we're going to do here, because my guess is that you're so incredibly excited about this right now that you just can't wait to hear what this project is going to be. So I'm going to tell you. Okay, so interesting. Why won't that? Oh, is that what I did? What am I doing here? Okay, so that's gonna. Let me just look at this again. What am I even doing? Okay, so if I push that down, how are you getting out of there? Yeah, it does look like this is just clipped on, but I'm trying to put it under the scope to see, well, how exactly is not just the LED, but the plastic, the plastic framing piece. So it does look like it's just. It does look like it's just. Is that what it is? Sorry, I just need to put this over here. Let's see. Can I just pull these off? Yeah, here, this guy. How do I get him to just stop biting the board? How far back can I pull him? Okay, not too far. Right, there must be a better way of pulling this thing apart. I'm sure it'll come to me. I'm just going to try and see if I can see. Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can try and prise. Oh, well, that's done that. I think I've figured out how this gets attached. But unfortunately, okay, so I've got this piece up. Okay, right. See what I've done? I've just digging that piece up, but I still have the board. Okay, so it's a one-piece board. So this is going to be tricky. The thing that I want to do with this project, and we'll see, might just make this kind of difficult. Okay, so it's going in there, but that had to be manufactured in there somehow. So I'm just see if there's a hinge on this or what. It doesn't look like there's a hinge. It looks like that's a clip there at the edge. Is that how it works? Sorry, I'm mixing it. It looks like this is some sort of a clip here. Yes, I mean, this is definitely manually done in a factory somewhere. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, so it does just pull out. Okay, so I might have just, sorry, I just, all I had to do was just pull it like that. If I'm watching this in the future, and I'm trying to figure out how to put this back together. Okay, all right, this is good. So now we have all of that. All right, now let's have a look at we've freed this thing, mostly from its housing. And then those clips, sorry. Really what I need is a dual view here. All this switching is probably not a good idea. Why is all the switching probably isn't the best. So you can see here the clip is right here. I'm going to show you now what my project is, and then we can see just how crazy this is, and how in God's name this is ever going to work, or if this is just a bad project board, right? But my guess is that all these boards are all the same size, probably all made by the same manufacturer. So it'll be tricky to find one small enough, I think. But we will see. Okay, we need to get the back off. And that's what I was doing. I was looking at the silver little rivets here. Yeah, look at all this. So now we're going to get this thing out of it. How am I going to get this thing off of here? Oh, I see the clip now. Okay, but where is it clipped on this side? It is. Okay, so there's a clip here. One. And then there's a clip. Well, in fact, that's the only clip I can see. So maybe if I just get rid of that clip, maybe that'll loosen it up. So let's try that. So I'm just going to pull this one clip. Oh, did it work? No. Okay, I need to just... It is quite... Oh, it did come off. Okay, I got it. Okay, that's good. Oh, but now do I have soldering shenanigans? Is that what I have? Maybe? No, I don't. Nice. It was just, you know, mechanically attached. Okay. What is going on here? Very hard to see other connective things here. It does look like it's hinged or attached somehow on the back to something. I'm just trying to look into it to see Well, what is that that's attached? I can't see. Is it the antenna? Why is it attached there? Okay, I'm gonna just have to look at the edge here just to see what's going on. What is it attached to here? Is it a glue? Yeah. What's it pivoting on? I'm not sure why it's stuck there. It might be just a glue strip. See, what's happening is I can get this far with it, but I can't actually. Oh. Hang on. Yeah, there we go. And there's another one there. Is there? There was a clip there on the inside. Okay, there we are. That's it. That's the end of it. Okay, so this is our digital TV. This is our digital TV. Digital stream. And now we have it completely dismantled, and out of its little case, we can reveal the project of Gondor that we're going to do. And even if the case doesn't actually fit, or it's too big for the case, or whatever that I'm going to transplant this thing into, we might just try and get it to work in some way, shape, or form. Do some kind of project. Okay. Let's take a look at the project piece. Well, I can already tell it's going to be too big. But we will see what can be done. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and take this digital TV tuner, and then, one second. We're going to take this digital TV tuner, and then we are going to see what parts of this, or what needs to be done to take the composite signal of this TV tuner and send it to this so that we can watch digital TV on this. And that's the project. So this is the thing. There's been a few people online and Reddit threads and stuff, you can look it up, that have been trying to think about how can you revive this? How can you make the Sega Game Gear TV tuner from like 1989 and make it useful again? All these tuners are completely useless, at least in the United States, because of the fact that analog TV stations are dead. But if we can take this, which to some degree maybe can be 3D case printed onto the back of this, maybe, and integrate it with this, then we'll have a digital Sega Game Gear TV tuner. So what do you think about that for a project? I think it's going to be pretty difficult, personally. Let's see. What would it look like even? So there's the board, right? So there's the board. So this board needs to be integrated onto the TV tuner somehow, which, you know, you could imagine some kind of 3D printed apparatus that could integrate there. And then we've got to go probably drill holes in the back of here, feed through composite signals, do crazy stuff. But that would revive it, and that would make this back into a workable tuner. And then you could just turn it back around and go, oh, hey, look. Now, if there was a no case mod way of doing it, I mean, that would be amazing, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So it would have to be a crazy no case mod. So that's kind of where we're at. Let me just see here for a second. It's actually narrow enough that it would go through. Yeah, there's no way to do this without a case mod. But it's actually like it's not terribly massive. It's about the right size. Obviously, if it was half the size, to make this project a lot easier, well, it would make it more integratable. If it was half the size, with that size, you could imagine a world where you maybe might be able to sneak it in behind here somewhere. But I'm afraid the way it is right now, I don't see a place to get this board in there and close the lid. But you know, it's early days on this project, so what do I know? You know, like what do I know? I mean, yeah, it's not going to fit in there. Like, still, I'd be able to just like get it, maybe just stick a little bit at the back. I don't know. There's not going to be a lot of room in there. So, you know, maybe a new 3D printed case could be made where you could reuse the screen, but you increase the back. Sorry, you increase the area at the back here so that it can do it. So, you know, I mean, it's beyond my ability to break this board up. I mean, that would be just impossible. So we won't be doing that. But still, I think it's going to be a fun project. I don't know if you're still listening, but I do think it's going to be a fun project. And, you know, I think even if it's the case of you know, sort of integrating it into the case, I still think it'll be cool. So that's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm going to do that somehow. We'll see. Yeah, see how that works now. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it works. But yeah, that's all I had. I'm giving it. That's it for tonight. That's my secret project. So I'm going to call it there, and yeah, we'll catch up maybe the next time, and maybe I'll have done a little bit more research, and maybe I'll understand a little bit more about whether this is a terrible idea or not. Yeah, see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.